Bye, Felicia.
And it's always you in the council chambers, and right now us on Zoom.
Committee colleague, city appointed community member Tracy Rossi. There you are. See you on the screen. Hi, Tracy. County appointed community member Felicia Tripp Folsom. There's Felicia. City appointed business leader Mitch Horniker. And you're here live. All right. And Soon, we will announce the fifth member, as she is probably in traffic on her way. Why don't we wait and introduce Julie Brim-Edwards in a minute? I'm moving, I'll just move forward from that part. Okay, got it. We're also joined by the amazing Children's Levy staff. We have Erica, we have Joel, John. John must be somewhere. He's everywhere. Meg, Lisa, Rachel, and Yuxing, you're all here. All right, thanks for being here. And thank you for joining us today, whether you're in person or in the council chambers or on live stream. Now on to our agenda. First up, let's approve the minutes of the April 18th, 2023 meeting. May I get a motion to hopefully approve the minutes?
So moved. This is
Okay, I
Felicia.
heard it was moved by Mitch and second by whoever else got in there to move it.
Felicia.
All right, thanks,
Felicia.
Felicia. All right, so it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, and no one's opposed, so the minutes have been approved from the last meeting. Next, Grants Manager Erica Bridgman Bonayou will come introduce our guest speakers. Erica, please come up. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Ryan. So I'm excited to introduce Sarah and Tamika Brannon-Phillips, Sarah Hersey and Tamika Brannon-Phillips today, who are two trainers who have been working with grantees of the Small Grants Fund. They both are experienced facilitators trained in disability justice and have lived experiences of disability themselves. And as you may recall, the Small Grants Fund was designed with a focus on building grantees' organizational capacity, particularly in the area of inclusion of Black, Indigenous, children of color with disabilities. Small Grants Fund grantees have disability inclusion goals written into their contracts, and most included additional training about disability as part of their goals. Both Sarah and Tamika have been facilitating training for our SGF grantees since 2021, when they kicked off the disability learning convening and an online training that included grantees, volunteers, parents, and youth. As a follow-up to that meeting, staff asked small grants grantees about the training support needs that they had identified as they implemented their disability inclusion goals. 3 grantees requested training from Tamika and Sarah. To date, they have facilitated 2 classes for 4 hours for the African Youth Community Organization, one for parents and one for ICO staff, and 1 3-hour class for Ethiopian and Eritrean Cultural Resource Center staff and program volunteers. In addition, there is 1 more training session with Camp ELSO planned for June 22nd. The topics covered in these trainings have included addressing stigma about disability in Ethiopian, Eritrean, and Somali communities, using strength-based language to work with children with disabilities, principles of disability justice, and applying those principles to their work with children and youth, including planning events and curriculum. And in each training, they've had 6 to 15 participants in attendance. The final training session with Camp ELSO will include collaborative problem-solving skills, which is a method used to help children with disabilities and their adults for navigating difficult and challenging situations. At each training, we've asked participants to fill out a survey about the training, and to date, we've received 24 surveys, and they all indicated that the content covered was useful and the training met their expectations. Tamika and Sarah are here today to share their experiences working with our grantees and their accomplishments with this work. And first, we will start with Sarah.
Thank you, Erica, and hello, Commissioner. My name is Sarah Hersey. My pronoun is she and her. I work as consulting for people with disability, especially the refugee and immigrant with disability. I have been advocating for refugee with disability community because this is since 2014. This is personal for me because I am legally blind. I also understand how it's difficult to find resources when you are disabled in English second language. Because of BCL, Born Children Levy, Tamika and I have the opportunity to give training and profit organization. Erica had conversation with the grantee and she asked what they would like to learn. And they said they would like to understand how to talk about the stigma about disability with the community and how they can make inclusive their program. And we took that information and we created a lesson plan. We talk about it, the definition of disabilities, understanding America with Disability Act, the ADA, accommodation, how they create accessible event. Also, we introduced the introduction of disability justice and how can they apply their work. The outcome was great. The most important outcome was to start conversation about disability because many people are isolated home, and this gave the opportunity to participate event. A nonprofit organization was open to learn and also to support their community. Family who have children with disability felt part of the community when the organization start inviting their project. The nonprofit organization said we needed to have this education to serve because disability is human experience. We always experience one or the other life in our life. And now I would like to give Tamika, my co-facilitator. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Good afternoon, Commissioner Ryan, Commissioner Edwards, Ms. Felicia, Mr. Mitch, Ms. Tracy. My name is Tamika Brandon Phillips, and I use the pronouns she and her. In 2018, the Northwest Health Foundation and the Collins Foundation partnered up with and led a leadership collaborative that I lovingly call the Disability Justice League. Sarah and I were one of 16 BIPOC LGBTQ+ leaders chosen. I'm a biracial woman, a disabled veteran, a mother of 2 children born with disability, one acquired naturally, the other acquired as a result of a medical error. Our voices were heard and centered, and a guidebook was written for Oregon and Southwest Washington. The PCL small grants gave us the opportunity to show up, speak up, and help dismantle a colonial system with a universal, accessible, strength-based, all-inclusive human system. I know that's a mouthful, but the truth be told, every word is meant, and that's me being transparent. You selected Sarah and I as your champions to help provide a framework of what change looks like. In 2021, we told you our stories and our triumphs. My son was featured as a youth, giving his perspective of what life was like as someone with autism and how to better communicate. In 2002, Sarah and I were back on the scene, this time in person. Excuse me, lost my place. This time in person, turning teaching into more of a conversation. Being mindful and culturally centered, we observe the need to be more oral and less written. It is known that the African cultures center much of their communications in oral translation and tradition. This is where we learned about etiquette and interpretation communication gaps, and even identified potential parent leaders and peer leaders. The community is talking and even planning inclusive parent support group meetings and teachings as we speak. I have observed the eagerness to try and the determination to succeed from many of the staff and parents. There is hope to make this permanently a reality. EECRC was ready for the change and was eager to get out there and apply their new knowledge. The conversations uncovered more gaps and barriers to which we documented, and like any good accommodative environment, we molded and tailored our teachings to provide examples of strength-based, positive-based solutions and suggestions. IGO leaders embraced a deeper conversation which brought about more strength-based positive solutions and inspiring possibilities as they settle into their new space. Camp ELSO counselors are gearing up for a fabulous, strength-based, all-inclusive summer. I will be training them to be proactive when planning events, auditing the environment and themselves to help prevent a meltdown in the moment using a collaborative problem solving as part of the framework. Explaining and showing them the importance of sending out pre-surveys to discover accommodation access needs before the event even is created. This is simple and essential way to maximize the chance of successful inclusion and meeting access needs and accommodations. I'm providing them with tools like a bright, diverse picture communication cards on a lanyard. They are small enough and easy enough to fit in a fanny or waist pack or a jacket pocket. The intent is to give nonverbal or soft verbal youth a voice in the moment. PCL has thrown the first stone into the waters of disability justice, and the ripples from that first step are growing. Through word of mouth from the communities we serve, the friends and coworkers we share with, and the digital networks that show the content, our ripples are traveling and making waves. Our work has branched out into the Tri-Counties, Multnomah, Clackamas, and Washington counties. We now have nonprofits, networks, education, and community programs, county programs reaching out, asking us how they too can make their spaces more diverse and fully inclusive and accessible. The networks in some of these groups reach out to the rural areas of Oregon, and it's still growing. The fact that it is growing like a colossal wave is, in my opinion, the best accomplishment this far. This work is vital, and like the air we breathe, it's essential because disability is a human experience. We can be born with it, we can acquire it, we will age, and will at some point develop it. It is in fact universal. Thank you for the opportunity to listen to us today. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, first of all, thank you so much, all three of you, Erica, Sarah, and Tamika. If you could just pause for one moment, I wanted to loop back because we have someone who just joined us, who's a new member of this committee. It's Multnomah County Commissioner Julia Bren Edwards. She is now filling the position previously held by Chair Vega Peterson. We've all enjoyed working with Chair Vega Peterson, so we don't get to gush on her. Her final meeting was the last one, but we are absolutely thrilled to welcome Commissioner Brim Edwards. Thank you. We're glad you're here, and welcome to the meeting.
Great, I'm glad to be here. I've been a fan of the Children's Levy since it was started in 2002 when I was on the Portland School Board. So I'm looking forward to working with the committee and the communities that's engaged with it.
Awesome. And I understand this just in, but bridges go up sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. No, she texted, the bridge is up. So these things happen. Anyway, thanks for that little pause. And now we're all in the room as we have full attendance and we're back with you. So I think now's the time to ask any questions. Anyone from the committee have any questions for our guest? I just want to make a comment. The fact that the small grants investment is being lived out in such a way, and to hear about something that as busy as you are and as much as you try to dig in, I didn't know about the work of the Disability Justice Committee. And so I want to thank you already for the wisdom of knowing that we needed to do small grants investments. And so was this one of the newer gifts that you received as in this work? I'm kind of curious on how this work took off. Were we a first investment, if you will, to get it started?
Yeah, and I think part of what Tamika and Sarah were talking about is, as I went to, community meetings and talked about what we were doing with small grants, they started getting more and more requests for doing consulting work everywhere. So that is part of that ripple effect that Tamika was talking about. But I'm really proud of the work that the small grantees have done because they are smaller organizations. And when we put out the call for small grants and asked, okay, so we know that you are a small BIPOC-led organization. We would like you to have some inclusion goals on how you can make your programs more inclusive for children with disabilities from your communities. Many of them, they all stood up and they said, yes, we would love to do that. We see that this is an inequity in our community. We're not exactly sure how, so we want to start with learning so that we can make sure that when families come into our programs that we're ready for them. And so that was part of, we started off with a convening, but it was 2021. We were still doing kind of a little bit of learning about all of the things that the technology could allow us to do in that moment. And these grantees requested specific consulting that would help them implement their goals. 3 worked with Tamika and Sarah. Additional grantees found other kinds of training that they were able to pay for with our funds outside of Tamika and Sarah, but all of them have been really working through this process of learning on how to be more inclusive. And we're seeing a difference in the numbers as those changes are starting to get implemented.
Wonderful. Any other questions or comments? Okay, do we have any comments from the public?
We do not have anybody signed up for public testimony.
Okay, well, thank you again for being a part of our committee meeting today. It was really great to have all of you here, and we hope to see you back again soon and keep hearing more about the investments that take place with small grants. Is there anything else, Erica?
Nope, that's
Okay,
it on
thanks
that.
so much.
I'm next on the
Thank you for
agenda.
having
too.
us.
Next up is Assistant Director Meg, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, we have
Yeah,
another
I thought we
person?
were small grant renewal next.
Oh, sorry.
It was like, to the agenda.
Oh, we're now, next is Erica is here again. She didn't leave to provide an update on the small grants renewal process and timeline. Sorry about that.
Okay,
I skipped to item 3, clearly.
it's okay. I just want to make sure the grants get renewed after all. So thank you. So some of this will be a little bit of a refresher in this background since we just talked about this with Tamika and Sarah. But this will also help perhaps with Commissioner Brem Edwards. PCL launched the Small Grants Fund in fiscal year 2019-20 at the very beginning of the pandemic. Creating the fund was a direct response to PCL's community engagement in 2018 and 19. The purpose of the fund is to improve equity of access to PCL funds for small organizations arising out of marginalized communities, including people who identify as Black, Indigenous, people of color, immigrant and refugee, LGBTQ2SIA+, and people with disabilities. PCL led community conversations to shape the two-step application process, and we awarded small grants of up to $60,000 a year annually or $180,000 over 3 years to 7 small organizations with annual organizational revenues of less than $1 million. All small grant awards currently run from January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2023. Staff is proposing a 2.5-year renewal for small grants until June 30th of 2026. This is slightly longer than for large grants, but will bring small grants into the same fiscal year as the large grants, which will simplify the administration of the grants. And the timeframe will also allow for the Community Council and the Allocation Committee to review data on the small grants pilot and address key policy questions about the next small grants application process. Additional time will also be helpful because the Council and Allocation Committee will be considering grants policy questions along with policy and process questions for the next large competitive round. So consistent with the recent renewal of PCL's large grants, staff will use the same approach of calculating up to renewal amounts for small grants using 40% of the 3-year grant total with a 4% COLA compounded to support inflation and staff retention. We are proposing the following timeline for small grants process. Today, we are discussing the renewal process, the funding formula, and the next steps. And if you approve that process, we will take the following steps. So in June and August, PCL's contracted independent auditors have been conducting a fiscal review of all small grantee financial statements and processes. Once this is concluded, the review will provide staff with information about the financial health of the organization, and it's a grant requirement in lieu of an audit. Then also this summer, staff will review Small Grants Fund annual reports data to determine the overall performance of all the grantees regarding their program, their service delivery, and their disability inclusion goals. In September, staff will develop renewal and funding recommendations and rationale, and by mid-September, provide grantees with the opportunity to provide feedback on the funding recommendations. Then in October, staff recommendations and grantee comments will be provided to the Allocation Committee no later than October 6th, so that at the October 17th meeting, we will present the small grants annual performance data, the funding recommendations, and also the key themes and lessons learned from the small grants pilot. The Allocation Committee will then make renewal decisions on small grants at that meeting on October 17th. That's my presentation. I'm open for questions and discussion.
Thank you, Erica. Committee members, any questions on the timeline? You're really looking for an approval of the timeline process that you just recommended.
Yes.
And your
And the
summary
funding
is the
formula.
alignment with the large grants
Yes.
and renewal. Okay. Any questions?
Dan, I don't have a question, but I just want to thank Erica because she has really championed the equity in this process by just getting the community engagement, the client engagement. I mean, like everything, she's really been very thoughtful on this timeline and have gotten feedback from us as members of the allocation committee, from staff, from community members. And so I just want to give her a round of applause for a job well done.
Thank you.
All right. It's kind of like a golf clap in here, but people are clapping. There we go. Thanks, Felicia. Yes, Commissioner Brim Edwards. It's
This
fun to
is-
say.
This is a new person question. The review that's done, is that done by an accountant or an auditor? Or, I know like having a full audit would be sort of very intrusive and time intensive for actually a smaller size grant. It doesn't really make sense. What does that look like?
So we have contracted with our auditors who also audit the levy and all of our finances. It's much lighter than what would be considered a full audit, but they are reviewing the financial statements of all of the small grantees, their balance sheets and their processes, you know, if they have all of the, I wish I had John here because I'm trying to remember the accounting term where
Like the
you have to.
controls and everything? in
Yes,
place?
all the controls, yes. They are reviewing for all of those things, and they started working on that this spring. At the conclusion of looking at all of those, they're having interviews with each small grantee to kind of say, here are all of the areas of strength, here are some areas where, some ways that you may be able to improve in the future and do that review. All of those interviews and the write-up of that whole process is set to be concluded by the end of this month.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I had one quick question.
Yes, go Tracy.
Hi, Tracy. Hi. Thanks again, Erica, for the wonderful presentation. I did have a question at how you all arrived at the COLA percentage. I love the fact that we're embedding resources to incentivize staff to stay, and just wondered with our volatile rates around cost of living adjustments, how did we land on 4%?
Well, I may need to defer part of that to Lisa, but it is the same COLA rate that we use for the large grants. And my understanding is it was, you know, based on the funds that we expect to have available in the levy. Thank you. Based on the revenue forecast, she says.
Okay, perfect. I was wondering if it was linked. Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone that signed up from the public?
We do not have anybody
Okay.
signed up for public
Thank
comment.
you. Anything else, Erica?
Just waiting for the vote on the funding process. And
Okay,
the
so the
funding.
motion's on the table. Okay. I don't have anything written down that says that, so
We had confusion on our end. I didn't think we were voting on this because we're using the same process we use for
Okay.
large grants.
that's what I
So
thought.
as long as
Okay.
it's approved. Okay.
Oh, good. But this is what we needed to do. All right, great. Thank you so much. Great report. Okay, now it's you, Meg. Come on up and give us information about the community engagement process.
And Rachel's gonna join me too, because
Hey,
she's
and Rachel.
gonna
Hey,
present
Rachel.
right after I do, and we figured we would just do it together.
That's good to see both of you.
Welcome, Commissioner Brim Edwards. Glad you're joining us. And Mitch, glad you're here for this presentation, so you can impart some wisdom from the previous experience if you would choose to. Thanks, everyone. Glad to be here today and talk a little bit about our upcoming community engagement plan and process. So thanks to Portland's voters, the levy was renewed for 5 more years, as you all know, from January 1, 2024 through June 30, 2029. And the current large grants that we have now were renewed recently and run for the next 2 fiscal years. And as Erica just said, we're teeing up renewing the small grants as well. While those grants are in a renewal status, and as part of what is required by the act that governs levy operations, we will commence a community engagement process. The act requires that we do that to inform funding priorities in our 6 program areas, and that community engagement process include multiple ways and strategies for engagement, such as focus groups, surveys, key stakeholder interviews, and meetings open to the public. To place some context on how we've done this in the past, in 2018-19, we conducted a 9-month community engagement process in which we contracted with Empress Rules Equity Consulting to engage both community members and service providers around community needs, preferred services and methods for service delivery, and barriers to access for children and families to services. Empress Rules collected surveys from over 400 community members and 95 service providers through online surveys and conducted 8 focus groups with 85 additional community members. The 500 folks surveyed included youth, parents, and caregivers with the following lived experiences: people with disabilities, members of the LGBTQIA2S+ community, people who are houseless, immigrants and refugees, families with low incomes, youth and parents and caregivers that spoke languages other than English at home, and and families who identified as Black, Indigenous, African, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, Asian, Slavic, and Middle Eastern. For the 85 individuals who were involved in focus groups, those focus groups included 2 groups specifically with youth and 6 with adults and parents with lived experiences in our foster care systems, with disabilities, who are Spanish-speaking, and immigrants and refugees. Survey and focus group participants also received participation incentives or small payments to recognize their time and energy for giving us input. When we reflected back on that process, we had some lessons learned, both pluses and minuses. This includes our lessons learned as staff, as well as feedback that Empress Rules Equity Consulting team gave us. Things that worked well included conducting outreach with community members, attending existing community events as opposed to doing our own outreach events. Gathering input through multiple methods, like I just discussed, such as surveys and focus groups, providing individuals with incentives like gift cards for their time and energy completing our engagement process, using an outside contractor as opposed to Levy staff to do the outreach, surveys, focus groups, and to put together the report and present the findings, and using those different questions on our surveys for both community members and service providers. Things that didn't work out as well last time, we had an interest questionnaire that was used to solicit individuals' interest in participating in community engagement, and it turned out that it was very confusing to people to have to fill out an interest questionnaire and then a survey later, no surprise. So we'll be skipping that step this time around. We offered language-specific focus groups, which engaged people very well, and we also had translated surveys. Unfortunately, last time around with those translated surveys, we didn't have people who also spoke the languages of the individuals who were asked to complete the survey, so there wasn't sort of a navigator or a hand holder to help them complete those surveys, which is something we're looking at doing this time around. And we didn't have a feedback loop with participants last time so that they could hear specifically how their feedback turned into the types of funding priorities and work that the levy eventually funded. In other words, we didn't necessarily gather their contact information and make it integral to our contact database if they wanted to be kept up to date. So we plan to build that in as well. This time around, as we begin to plan community engagement, we have a new entity that is part of our work. So we're lucky to have more minds and hearts at the table as we begin to plan, and that's our community council. So the last time around, it was the allocation committee and staff and our outside contractor who kind of put all of the plan together and help make it happen. This time we have 11 members of our community who are helping us establish goals for our community engagement plan, the topics around which we'll engage the community, and the priority communities to engage. And Rachel's going to present to you a little bit on that. And I'm also going to go out on a limb and recognize that one of our community council members is here in the audience today. And so I want to thank Karina Bork for coming down to attend this meeting and hear this presentation. So the Community Council will do, like I just said, offer some key guidance to us and to you all to shape our community engagement plan. And then once the community engagement is complete, they will also help shape our funding priorities. The recommendations that they create come to the allocation committee for their decision. You all will take recommendations from them, decide the plan around those recommendations. And then we as a staff are charged with implementing it and figuring out the logistics. So that includes seeking out contractors, so the specific methods that contractors would use to engage the community, managing the budget for it, and supporting the contractors as best we can with outreach, facilitation, interpretation, and technical data and analysis. So next steps. We as a staff are in the process of starting to identify a potential contractor to assist in doing our community engagement. Under City of Portland procurement policy, we are looking at COBID certified firms, so those are state certified Office of Business Inclusion and Diversity firms, emerging small businesses, women-owned businesses, BIPOC-owned businesses, to discuss their interests and availability in doing this kind of work for us. We are also in communication with the city's contracted community engagement liaisons, or CELs for short. These are individuals from a wide range of our cultural communities. They are bilingual and can collaborate on culturally responsive survey design and focus group questions and help us complete those tools with community members. CELs are members of the Latinx, Latina community, Black community, Indigenous, West African, Somali, Karen, Burmese, Nepali, Zomi, Chukis, Arabic, Russian, and Ukrainian communities. We are looking at engaging the main contractor as soon as possible to do overarching work on this, as well as the technical data pieces, and collaborating with the CELs to implement community engagement planning. We would look to be doing survey implementation and focus groups into this fall and winter, and completing the community engagement process by winter of 2024, and then coming to the Community Council and the Allocation Committee with the results of that process to shape the funding priorities starting this spring 2024. Any questions on that overview before I turn it over to Rachel to start talking about the goals, topics, and priority communities recommendations? All right, great, thanks.
Go ahead.
Sounds good. I guess it's my turn. So I will be presenting 3 recommendations from Community Council for key features to PCL's community engagement plan, including how Council arrived at these recommendations. So during the month of April, optional small meetings were held to create a space so that Council members would have the opportunity to discuss 3 parts of the community engagement plan. The first one was community engagement goals, the second one was topics for community engagement, and the third was priority communities to engage. Council members were asked these questions for the community engagement goals. What goals do you think the Levy's potential community engagement process should have for 2023? What do you want to achieve in the Levy's community engagement process? Would you keep the same goals as 2018 or modify them? For the topics for community engagement, they were asked, are there any topics or service strategies that you would like to explore with community members? And what do you want to learn through the community engagement process? Lastly, for the priority communities to engage, they were asked, which communities do you see as priority for PCL's community engagement? From this, staff was able to analyze these conversations for themes and use those themes to draft recommendations that Council could discuss and modify at their May meeting. Council worked in small groups and large groups in the May meeting to review the draft recommendations, refine them, and vote on them to move them to your consideration. Their voting included submitting anonymous written voting using Poll Everywhere. They also submitted brief written statements explaining why they voted yes, no, or to abstain. Each of the 3 recommendations received unanimous support from the 6 members who attended May's council meeting. After I present each of the recommendations, I'll also share with you some of their rationale for supporting the recommendations. After I've presented all of the recommendations, I will facilitate you to discuss them one at a time and offer any additions or changes to them, and then you will vote on them, not we, just kidding. So, next slide, please. Okay, so this is recommendation 1. This slide will show you the recommended goals for PCL's 2023 community engagement process, specifically the ones that will guide our planning and approach to the community engagement. At this moment, I'd like to invite you all to help me read the goals. Commissioner Ryan, I will start with you. If you could read the first one, and then we'll just go around.
Recommendation 1, 2023 community engagement goals. Just read the first bullet. All right. Learn from diverse stakeholders about the most effective and needed services for children, especially children most affected by historical inequities and disproportionately impacted by COVID-19. Oh, read all 3 bullets?
Other members of the committee can
Okay,
read them
good.
as well. Yeah.
You go, Mitch.
Yeah, that's right. The second bullet is identify community solutions to improve outcomes for children and families, including culturally informed, emerging grassroots strategies and pandemic recovery practices in PCL's program areas.
Commissioner. From Edwards.
Build positive relationships with marginalized communities by incorporating the city's core values.
Thank you. And there's 2 more. Felicia and Tracy would like to read the last 2, please.
I'll do the next one. Promote community understanding and awareness of Portland Children's Levy's work, including the funding process, services funded, and demographics of children and families served.
Okay, I'll read the last one. Improve transparency in the community engagement process and ensure that community members who engage in the process receive ongoing communication about PCL and how it uses community feedback.
Thank you all. So when the community council members voted on these recommendations, they wrote anonymous comments with their votes. As I noted, all members attending council's May meeting voted in support of this recommendation. Council members' rationale for supporting this recommendation included emphasis on inclusivity, developing trust with community, and in pandemic impacts, As one member wrote, I feel the first recommendation accurately depicts the level of trust and relationship building we intend to create in the community engagement process. This slide and the next will show the council's recommendation for which topics should be the focus of PCL's community engagement process. These are the topics the council wants to learn more about during this community engagement process. These topics will help staff and the contractors shape the questions that we will ask through surveys, focus groups, and interviews. The first one is mental health topics. And this just addresses barriers youth and families experience accessing mental health resources, as well as access to self-care and emotional regulation supports. Culturally specific approaches to mental health and or social and emotional well-being for youth and families, variety of options for mental health supports in PCL program areas, aligned training for PCL-funded providers in social and emotional well-being and healthy relationships, effective practices for supporting children and families with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The next is mentoring topics. So this focuses on social and emotional confidence, self-regulation that is culturally specific, for youth aging out of foster care. Other topics include digital literacy supports needs for families emerging from the COVID-19 emergency, culturally specific or responsive strategies for addressing violence and trauma, support services for youth and families experiencing housing instability, and childcare affordability gaps and barriers. Most members' rationale for supporting this recommendation were mental health needs and the youth for families need further focus. As one member wrote, I strongly believe that mental health is essential to community development and feel that especially coming out of the pandemic, we need to ensure we are meeting communities where they are right now. The third recommendation is what you'll see on this slide. And this focuses again on the priority communities to engage during this process. This recommendation will help PCL focus its outreach to involve the priority communities in completing surveys, focus groups, and potentially key stakeholder interviews, in the engagement process. So the focus of priority communities would be very low income families or single parent households, LGBTQIA2 spirit youth, including BIPOC youth and African immigrant youth, youth and families from the following communities: Black, African American, African immigrant, Southeast Asian, Pacific Islander, Latinx, Latina, Latino communities, Native American and Alaskan Native, Ukrainian, Russian, and Middle Eastern communities, as well as immigrants and refugees. Furthermore, youth and families with the following lived experiences, so trauma and violence, those with disabilities, those experiencing housing instability, multi-generational homes, those who are aging out of foster care, and those with experience who are teen parents, excuse me. So, in addition to this recommendation, council members offered additional consideration to the staff and allocation committee, and those include just a greater focus or specificity in the cultural groups. For example, these are broad, and we don't want to lump people together. And they want PCL staff to be mindful of which communities are left out of this planning by not being specific and designing for inclusive practices and community engagement. Another thing that was mentioned was consideration for how to collect data on how people identify in the process so we understand who we engage in community input. And lastly, emphasis on inclusivity with the methodology used in community engagement. So which methods best reach specific communities? That being said, I have just presented with you 3 recommendations for goals for the community engagement process, topics for community engagement, and priority communities to engage. Now I will facilitate you to discuss them one at a time and offer any additions, changes to them, or recommendations, and then we will vote on them one at a time. So, Yushing, would you be willing to go back to slide 1, or the first recommendation slide?
I have a big picture question, I think. When you started this off, Meg, you did, I believe, with the minuses. You know, there were the
Yes.
pluses, minuses. I can't remember if we're addressing the minuses. I know we are, but it would be helpful just to.
Yes, one of the minuses was the interest questionnaire. That's sort of part of our methodology. We are not doing that. The methods we want to talk to, we've started to talk to contractors about our surveys and focus groups, as well as key stakeholder interviews. So 1 minus, yes, we are being
One
responsive
minus is
to.
just delete.
1 minus, yes, no interest questionnaire. The second one is language-specific focus groups. Last time around, were more effective at engaging people than simply giving them a translated survey. But the methodology we are talking about wanting to use now is little bit of a both and. It's language-specific focus groups, but also translated surveys, and using the city's contracted community engagement liaisons as that sort of survey navigator, if you will, the person who kind of sits down and helps somebody complete it, make sure they understand the questions that they're being asked. And in part because doing a lot of focus groups is a lot of qualitative data, which adds cost and time to the process. So we were trying to find a way to streamline getting good data in as many ways as possible from language-specific groups without necessarily doing so many more focus groups that would take it a little bit longer and be more costly. So that's the
practice,
second of the
okay.
3 minuses. And then the third was we didn't have a feedback loop last time with participants. Our contractor collected information from people in order to be able to give them the gift cards and the incentives, but we didn't get that list of people's names. We didn't work out anything where that contractor didn't ask for their permission to then pass their contact information to us as staff so that we could add them to our database, circle back with them, how are we doing? So that there was no feedback loop in that way that was intentional. So this time we want to figure out how we can make that a more intentional part of what we design.
Thank you so much. I was distracted by trying to figure out if those were already mentioned.
It's a great question.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Glad you went
Okay,
back to
now
it.
I interrupted.
Can I
Carry on.
can I
Yeah,
interrupt you?
Absolutely.
Meg, one of the positives, and I agree it was a positive that's listed, was that we used an outside contractor. And my recollection is that we had some reasons for doing that. One of which was at that time, the office was not very diverse, and that we hadn't developed a muscle to reach the communities that we really were focusing on. And kind of disconnecting staff from that work had some positives. We thought, hey, people would be more likely to be open, et cetera. But it also had some negatives in the sense that of disconnect between some of assumptions, connections, like if you guys would have been there, I bet you probably would have said, hey, maybe we want to connect with those folks. So I would just, as a general thought, urge you to think a little bit longer now that we've developed our muscle. I mean, I don't think we had Erica at the time, right? You were either just with us or not quite with us, yeah. So we've got a lot more talent and skill set and understanding, and so I would urge you guys to think about being a little more closer to the process and the action this time around, while still trying to harvest all the benefits of using an outside contractor.
Thank you. Your feedback's well taken.
Pardon? Do you have a question? Okay.
Can you move us on to recommendation 1 slide? All right, you ready? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now looking at recommendation 1, do you have any questions about the goals for community engagement? Commissioner Ryan, I will turn it back to you to facilitate the discussion and vote.
Okay, so we're going to go through each recommendation. Okay, so we're looking at recommendation 1, and committee, I can't see you, Felicia and Tracy, so how will I know if they have a question? Just speak up.
I can see them too.
You
We
can see them?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're on that screen in front of you?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're on this screen, and I can see Felicia laughing, and if they either of them raise their hand, or they can just come off mute to
Right.
chime in.
The choice of hybrid. All right.
I guess I can chime in. For recommendation 1, right? What does the word build positive relationship is very broad. Just that with marginalized communities by incorporating the city's core value. I just think could we maybe I like all 3 recommendations. I'm not trying to go away from them. If we need to keep them broad, let's keep them broad. But I'm thinking about if we ever wanted to track our engagement, I think sometimes it might be harder when we make them so broad. Like, I love how it says learn, identify community solutions, and build positive relationships. And I just want to make sure that you guys as staff feel like these are not too broad, that it has enough focus where you feel like you can track the metrics of engagement.
Do you want to chime in, or do you want me to? Okay. Thanks, Felicia. That's well taken. I think the feedback loop that we didn't do last time, I'm hopeful will help us be able to speak to that element of this particular recommendation. Because if we have a way to contact people who gave us input, then we have a way to go back to them and say, do you feel like your input was heard? Do you feel like it was valuable? And just sort of have them more likely in our overall contact methods than we did last time. And so, but your point's well taken. It's very broad. All right. You want to have them vote on that?
Now you will vote on, yes, please. And I will turn it back to you.
For recommendation 1,
I'm
sure that Felicia.
Felicia's got her thumbs up, and Tracy's raising her hand.
Thank you for translating.
Yes, you bet.
All right, so that passes. Next, recommendation 2, mentoring topics, mental health topics. I'm just really glad this one's on there.
Yes.
I should say, for my other life in the Portland Public Schools and coming out of COVID, these are definitely topics that are top of mind for families and parents, and challenges for our young people.
Are you working, I have a question. Have you reached out to, say, Trillium Families, those organizations that are in mental health children?
We haven't begun community outreach yet, but we will be doing, once we have the plan together and a contractor on board, and we've figured out how to structure survey and focus group questions around these issues, absolutely. Trillium is in our contact database currently, so organizations, I should back up and say, Outreach last time, which I imagine will happen similarly, occurred through the network of our contractor. And then we also used our social media channels, for example, to boost access to our survey and to get the word out about our community engagement process. So there's over, I think, 1,000 folks in our collective networks that we have access to contact, but we're not exclusively depending on that. It will also be our contractor. But organizations that currently receive levy funds, as well as those that don't, were invited last time to complete a provider survey, which we imagine doing again as part of this process. So for example, Trillium doesn't currently receive levy funds, but obviously they would have a lot to say about things like this, so yes.
Absolutely. I just really appreciate how transparent it is and open it is, because that's the journey to lift the stigma. I guess now we can vote on this. I hear no other feedback. Any feedback? And you can translate.
Yep, I'm looking and Felicia and
All right,
Tracy
all
look
those in favor?
content.
Aye.
Aye.
There you have their thumbs up.
Yep, thumbs
All
are
right.
thumbs up and hands are raised.
All right,
Yeah.
on to 3.
Thank you.
Questions, comments, feedback?
Yeah, I have a question. So priority communities to engage, clearly one of our focuses and pivots has been to try to find the kids with the highest needs and historically have the least access to services. And so when I think of priority communities to engage, we clearly want to engage them and their families. But we want to engage the entire community. So I guess I'm not saying that that isn't here. I'm just asking, I assume that's here and that you guys are comfortable with that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think our contractor, like as we explore options with contractors, part of it will be how they imagine getting the word out to our priority communities and broadly. I mean, we still have an opportunity to promote, if they're doing an online survey, to promote their online survey through our networks. Of course, we have access to Commissioner Ryan's networks. We have access to the Portland's Office of Civic Life network. So there's sort of ways in which we can capitalize on being part of the city's infrastructure to do that broad outreach. But I think we want to also be sure that we're reaching folks who've been really disproportionately impacted by the pandemic and historically impacted over time.
Felicia and Tracy are good?
Yep, I don't see any hands raised or
All right.
concerns.
Okay, so all in favor of recommendation 3, vote aye.
Aye.
And you
Aye.
got
Their thumbs
those
are
two
up.
as well?
All right, that passes.
Thank you very much.
Was that right?
Thank you
Yes.
all very much.
Okay.
Before I leave you today, though, I would like to provide you 2 brief updates about council. One is council did vote to approve their bylaws at their May 24th meeting. The second one is one council member resigned, from council due to scheduling conflicts. So that leaves us with 11 council members. That being said, we will be opening up recruitment for council to replace or fill in the remaining seats during the summer months. And I will update you on that in the fall.
How many meetings have you had so far?
What was that?
How many meetings have you had so far?
We've had 3.
3? Great.
Yes, and that's 3 general meetings, an optional April small meeting. So, yeah.
Okay, so good luck with recruitment, yeah, and outreach. Any questions about the community council recommendations? Does this have to be voted upon? I didn't think so.
No,
Okay,
it was just an update.
all right.
Thank you all
Thanks,
so much.
Rachel.
Thank you.
Good work. And it's great to have a member of the community council here today. Okay, next up, it's Yuxing, and you're going to present highlights from the community report that was published in April, and we've been seeing it all over social media. Good job.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner Ryan, committee members. The annual community report highlights the impact of the Portland Children's Levy on the ground. The data in the report will look familiar to most of you since it was shared during the February Allocation Committee meeting. The community report is a way to hear from the people most impacted by voter investments, including children, families, and staff at our grantee partners. To set the stage, the COVID-19 pandemic stretched into a third challenging year during the 2021 to 22 fiscal year. It marked a time of transition that required grantee partners to remain flexible and quickly adapt to changing situations. Grantee partners often found ways to continue to engage people virtually, embrace a return to in-person programs when possible, like you all saw in April in the Bravo Youth Orchestra's video, and sometimes also adjusted to offer services in hybrid settings. At the same time, organizations continue to provide crucial support for basic needs like food. And amid a backdrop of increasing gun violence and ongoing racism, grantee partners worked hard to create safe settings in programs and in schools that offered opportunities for children to grow, connect, and learn. Pictured here is a child graduating from Hacienda's CDC's Sembrando Semillitas Child Development Program. Participants attended an in-person graduation ceremony to celebrate the end of their virtual participation in the program and their entry into Head Start. Can't get cuter than those sorts of photos, I think. All right, next slide, please. PCL provided 92 program grants totaling more than $27 million to support grantee partners working in early childhood, after school, child abuse prevention and intervention, foster care, hunger relief, mentoring, community child care, and smaller organizations working in those areas. In the pie chart pictured here, you can see that breakdown in dollar amounts and in percentages by program area. The grant served approximately 9,400 children. 3/4 of folks served identified as Black, Indigenous, or people of color. 1/3 lived in homes where the primary language spoken was not English. 43% lived or went to school east of 82nd Avenue. And as we all know, the pandemic saw a huge demand for hunger relief programs. The levy supported the distribution of more than 3.6 million pounds of food at more than 50 sites. Organizations continue to grow their online communities with strong participation in virtual programs despite ongoing staffing challenges. Weekly online parenting classes with Self-Enhancement Inc. allowed Sheree Cooper to participate from anywhere. Sheree is pictured on the left here, holding her graduation certificate from the parenting program, and she's standing next to Marietta Collier-Wells, the Child Abuse Prevention and Intervention Parenting Program lead at SEI. Sheree adores Marietta. Sheree started the program in November 2021 and later bonded with her classmates in person at events. Here's what Sheree had to say. Quote, "I didn't know what I was walking into, but everybody was going through the same thing as me. I didn't want to show my face on camera at first, but everybody was very welcoming. I like in person, though. It feels good to know somebody is standing next to you." End quote. The rising cost of living, combined with lingering impacts of the pandemic, led to growing demand for hunger relief programs. Oh, can we move one back, please? Thanks. Pictured here is the Urban Gleaners distribution warehouse in Southeast Portland, where a small team processes about 5,000 pounds of food a day. The organization, a small grants fund recipient, serves more than 8,000 people a week, including at schools and at parks. Luca Townsend is the food equity coordinator pictured on the left here, and they gave us an example of what they see. Quote, "At Mount Scott Community Center, we have 1,400 pounds of food set out on 10 to 12 tables, just a big mix. We opened the doors at noon, and it was gone in 5 minutes." End quote. For many students, Their school and community groups offer some of the most safe and stable places in their lives as they face rising violence and white supremacy. At Rosemary Anderson High School, staff support students as soon as they arrive on campus, including with social and emotional development. Many students, including current and former foster youth funded through the PCL grant, also participate in workforce development programs and trainings with Portland Opportunities Industrialization Center. Here's what Lee Rappaport, the Natural Resource Pathways Program Manager at Rosemary Anderson, said about Josh B., who is pictured here in a portrait on the left and out in a wetland with two colleagues on the right. Quote, Josh B. is a steadfast student and has made great strides since arriving 2 years ago. Josh enjoys being engaged and active. They were accepted into our student crew leader training program last year and are now in their second year as a crew leader. Josh co-led groups of 10 to 12 volunteers and tree plantings throughout Portland's east side. They were hired as a crew member of our green team over the summer, working with peers in restoration projects around Portland. Josh had so many barriers to their success. Now it appears that walking at graduation and even going on to college is part of their future. There are many more stories like Josh's that show the impact of the Portland Children's Levy in our community. Folks can find the full report on portlandchildrenslevy.org to learn more. I also wanted to share a few highlights of grantee partners that we featured on social media and in our e-newsletter in the last 2 months. During Child Abuse Prevention Month in April, we recognized programs from CARES Northwest, Janus Youth Programs, and Bridge Meadows, which is pictured here with these 4 beautiful folks sitting and standing in front of a home. Bridge Meadows is an intergenerational housing community that provides permanency of home and family for children and youth who have been impacted by foster care. PCL's grant supports Bridge Meadows in North Portland to provide trauma-informed child, family, and group therapy and social support circles, referral and engagement support for parents and community elders, parent education support, and community meals. One youth had this to say, quote, Bridge Meadows was the turning point for me and my brother and a lot of my family. I like being able to play outside and feel safe, end quote. In the first week of April, we also recognized Week of the Young Child by highlighting the Community Child Care Initiative, also known as CCI for short, which is a special initiative of the levy. CCI benefits working families with low incomes by covering the gap between the cost of childcare and the subsidy they receive through the state's employment-related daycare program. CCI allows more than 300 children annually who are 6 weeks to 12 years old to access high-quality care with no cost to their families. We saw CCI in action when we visited Shannon's Child Care and Preschool in Southeast Portland earlier this spring, and you can see here a teacher encouraging a child doing art at a table. For several years, 12 of the 16 children there received CCI subsidies. Owner Shannon Aiden told us about CCI's impact. Quote, it stabilizes care for children and families. Because of the funding, families are not forced out of their childcare when the cost of care rises. This creates a continuity of care that's crucial to children's emotional well-being and success going into kindergarten. During National Foster Care Month in May, we recognized programs from Impact Northwest, Youth Rights and Justice, and IRCO, the Immigrant and Refugee Community Organization. IRCO recruits and trains immigrants and refugees as potential foster parents and provides individualized support for foster youth ages 6 to 24 and their families. Participants include foster parent Daisy, pictured here on the left, and Jazz, 16, who joined the family 2 years ago. Daisy, who is cousins with Jazz, regularly connects with her IRCO advocate several times a week and says the emotional support is very helpful. Here's what Daisy had to say about Jazz. Quote, she's come a long way from not going out, afraid of what to say, in fear of being accepted, to just saying, let me do it. I like that she has no fear when there's somebody there to support her. And lastly, we also recognize Morrison Child and Family Services last month as part of Mental Health Awareness Month, which you've all just heard is increasingly important these days. Through the PCL grant, Morrison provides early childhood mental health consultation services to children birth through 5 years old. Morrison consultants partner with childcare sites, preschools, and home visiting programs to support families and teachers. Pictured here is Lou Ray Levering, an infant and early childhood mental health consultant at Morrison, reading to children at Happy Go Lucky Childcare in Southeast Portland. And that's also Wally the puppet at Lou Ray's feet, who is a very helpful person with the kids. As Lou Ray said, quote, "It's really important for kids to learn about relationships and how to get along. That's the foundation for good mental health," end quote. For more stories like these, please follow us at PDX Kids Levy on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. We share grantee partner highlights as well as resources and information. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Yuxing. I just wanted to start off the some feedback or comments that, we often look at data in these meetings, a lot of data. And today we were able to hear the stories behind the data of the children and youth. So thank you. You're doing such a great job of telling those stories, and people learn from stories, so it's really important. Any other comments, questions?
Good stuff.
Yeah, is that great? Yeah, it's really been great to see the visibility increase.
Yeah, it's really important to have both the data as well as just the human faces of the impact that the Children's Levy has in the community.
Yes, yeah, you need both. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. Any data on activation socially out in the media? I'm sure it's gone up since you've been doing this work.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of engagement on social media, and we also had quite a little bit of media coverage around the May 16th special election where voters renewed the Children's Levy as well.
Yes, and we thank them, and we thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, lastly, I just want to take a few moments because, well, it's kind of a sad occasion because the person to the left of me, Mitch Horniker, it's your last meeting, and you've been doing this for 8 years. And so I just want to start off by opening up the room to others who would like to make a comment or two about our friend Mitch. Now I could see you. So if you raise your hand, Tracy and Felicia, I can actually call on you now. There you are, Felicia. You go, and then Tracy. All right.
Mitch, you're going to be missed because you are a champion for our youth, and especially our most vulnerable youth, which is our kids in foster care. And I have watched you at every meeting, you read everything, you have comments, you have feedback, you have taken your role on this allocation committee very, very seriously, because your passion for advocating for our most vulnerable children is seen in who you are, and we can really see it's your mission and purpose. And you will be sorely missed as you leave the levy. And I want people to know how much work and dedication that you have put into the levy work over the last 8 years. And I hope you see it with all of the nonprofits and all of our children that have been able to benefit from it for the last 8 years. And it has been an honor and a privilege to serve with you, Mitch, and you will be sorely missed.
Thank you so much, Felicia. Tracy.
Yes, so you will be greatly missed, Mitch. And what I wanted to add is we were talking earlier about the importance of data and the youth that we're serving. And I've always admired your ability to bring those two pieces, that intersection, to all of our meetings and all of our analysis. There's a lot of data, there's a lot of numbers, but I've always appreciated your reflection and remembering that behind those numbers are sweet little souls. And you brought that to all of the meetings that we have. And so I really appreciated that. I'm going to miss you, and I really appreciate the time you served and you gave it for 8 years. I didn't know it was 8 years, so that's a wonderful long time, and hope you go off and do something very fun in your next chapter.
And Commissioner Brim Edwards.
This may seem strange, this is my first meeting, but when Chair Vega Peterson asked me to take this assignment, I was sure. It's like, I love the Children's Levy, known about it for a long time, and then I looked at the list of members, and I saw your name on it, Mitch, and I was like, oh, this is great. I get an opportunity to work with you again, but I had no idea that it was just going to be for one meeting. So I hope that you will convey some of your wisdom and expertise and things that, as a new representative on the committee, that I should know, because 8 years, I'm sure you have lots of insights that would benefit me. And I'm sorry we won't have more than one meeting of overlap. And thank you for your 8 years of service.
Thank you, Julia. I just want to add my 2 cents. You've just been a wonderful representative, period. I think there was one moment where you were wondering if you'd get through 8 years, and I kind of begged of you to stay on. And I'm really glad that I took the liberty to do that, and you did stay on. And it was mentioned earlier, you just do your homework. Like Mitch does his homework. So I benefited immensely from that. You would always ask the questions that others might have been pondering. So thanks for always showing up and being prepared. And again, you've just been a great representative, and I know we'll find somebody to replace you, but you will be so missed. And I want to make sure you have the final word. So it's your mic.
Well, you've all been too kind. Just quickly, it's been a privilege. The data, oh gosh, it makes me laugh. I've spent so many hours with Lisa and Meg and Erica later trying to figure out the data and then asking questions about tactics and strategies. And you guys were always patient and giving of your time and patience. So I couldn't have done it without you guys. Thanks so much. And I really appreciate it. The staff is unbelievable here. It's been awesome having exposure to world-class providers and programs. We see them march through every meeting. It's great. It's the most fulfilling thing about the job. My colleagues have been, you've all been very generous with your time, support, and advice. And I'm amazed at your unlimited devotion to the kids and families in our city, which is so important. You know, in 8 years, probably the thing that I'm most gratified about is playing a small role in the Levy's pivot to spending more time, energy, and money focusing on the kids that weren't being reached, to the kids and families that had the highest needs, and the kids and families that were getting the fewest resources from both the Levy and the community in general. And I couldn't be more gratified about where we are in the trajectory of the Levy and all the good things that are happening, and I'll be rooting for all of you.
Thank you, Mitch. Let's give another big round of applause for Mitch. And Lisa, did you want to come up and say something? Lisa, there's more.
I would echo all the comments that have been said, because you asked the best questions. And we appreciate your attention to detail and data over the years. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you.
I don't know if the mics picked that up, but Lisa